Welcome back to Courtroom Clarity. Today, we're diving into one of the most unbelievable stories of courtroom drama ever. Ted Bundy, the infamous serial killer, not only used his charm to manipulate people, but also to escape from custody twice. Stay with me, because what Bundy pulled off might sound like something straight out of a Hollywood thriller, but I assure you, this was all too real. Ted Bundy was already known for his cunning manipulation long before he became a household name. By 1977, he was charged with kidnapping and murder and was about to face trial for one of his most infamous killings, the murder of Karen Campbell in Aspen, Colorado. But what a lot of people don't know is that Bundy wasn't just dangerous outside of prison. He was just as dangerous in court. He didn't just see his trial as his last hope for freedom. No, he saw it as a chessboard, with every person in that courtroom as one of his pawns. Now picture this. It's June 1977. Bundy stands before the judge in Aspen. But this isn't a cold-hearted, notorious killer on trial. At least, that's not what the judge or the courtroom staff saw. No, they saw a charming, well-educated man who somehow convinced the system he was capable of defending himself. Bundy wasn't some monster in chains. He was wearing a suit, flashing that confident smile. He pleaded with the judge, arguing he needed full access to legal resources to prove his innocence. And you know what? It worked. What Bundy was really doing wasn't preparing for trial. No, this whole act was a setup for escape. He had already planned what he would do, and when he was allowed to use the courthouse library to work on his defense, without handcuffs, without leg irons, and with just one guard to keep an eye on him, he saw his moment. Bundy didn't just casually look out that second-story window. He studied the situation. He manipulated the guard with casual conversation, probably cracking jokes, easing the tension, and buying time. He made sure the guard felt so comfortable that it was almost as if they were old friends, not prisoner and officer. Bundy knew exactly when the guard would look away, maybe even convinced him to step out for just a minute. And in that minute, Bundy jumped. Can you imagine it? 1 second, he's in the library. The next, he's falling through the air, crashing onto the ground below. His ankle snapped. He didn't care. Pain wasn't going to stop him. He limped away and disappeared into the thick wilderness. For 6 days, Bundy hid, surviving on whatever he could steal from empty cabins. For 6 days, the people of Aspen lived in fear, not knowing where this dangerous man was. Bundy knew the mountains were dangerous, but he wasn't a typical man. He was relentless. But in the end, the isolation, the cold, and the hunger got to him. He was found trying to steal a car and was dragged back into custody. End of the story, right? Wrong. You'd think after a stunt like that, Bundy would be locked down for good. No more freedom, no more chances. Well, you'd be wrong. Because Ted Bundy wasn't just biding his time in jail. He was planning something even bigger. After being transferred to Glenwood Springs, Bundy did what no one could have imagined. He didn't just sit in his cell feeling sorry for himself. He began studying every crack, every creak, every weak spot in that prison. Think about it. Every night, while the guards thought he was asleep, Bundy was quietly, patiently analyzing his surroundings. He found a weak spot in the ceiling, somewhere no one would ever think to look. For weeks, he carved at that ceiling with a smuggled hacksaw blade, inch by inch. He was methodical. Bundy was a predator, and this ceiling was his prey. And he didn't stop until he'd created a hole just big enough for him to crawl through. And then, on the night of December 30th, 1977, he made his move. He didn't just sneak out quietly. No, he crawled up into the ceiling like some kind of horror movie villain, inching through the ducts above the guards' heads. They had no idea. When he dropped down into the jailer's apartment, he didn't just make his way out. He calmly walked out the front door wearing civilian clothes. Imagine that. Ted Bundy, who was supposed to be under lock and key, was strolling through the night, a free man again. But what came next was nothing short of horrific. Ted Bundy didn't just escape to get away. He escaped to kill again. On January 15th, 1978, just 2 weeks after escaping, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. He committed one of the most brutal attacks of his spree. 4 women attacked in the dead of night. 2 of them, Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy, never stood a chance. The violence was swift, shocking, and senseless. And just like that, Bundy was back on the run, thinking he could outsmart the world again. But this time, he didn't have the same luck. Bundy's spree came to an end after a routine traffic stop in Pensacola, Florida. The officer who pulled him over had no idea he was about to arrest one of the most dangerous men in America. Ted Bundy's courtroom escapes weren't just about his cleverness. They were a terrifying reminder of how dangerous he was, even behind bars. His ability to manipulate the legal system, the guards, even the judge allowed him to keep killing. And the fact that he almost got away with it twice is a chilling testament to his twisted brilliance. If you found this breakdown of Ted Bundy's courtroom escapes intriguing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible courtroom stories here on Courtroom Clarity. What courtroom drama do you want us to cover next? Let me know in the comments.